I call the Honourable Damien O'Connor.
Mr Speaker, this government is failing. This is a shambolic government that is a disgrace to democracy. I received an email today, Mr Speaker, and so did most MPs. Quote, "Please remember those who died for democracy, died for the freedom to vote, died so that people could be heard. Please do not dismiss the result of any referendum as though it's a pain in your side or with remarks akin to, quote, it won't change anything, because it's a slap in the face to all those who have served and currently serve in the armed forces, those who have committed their lives to the protection of our rights." That, Mr Speaker, from a third-generation armed force member. Mr Speaker, all those people who we acknowledge on Anzac Day would be rolling over in their graves if they knew what is going on in this country today. Mr Speaker, 30 pieces of silver, $30 million to Rio Tinto, and 30% of the population, at best, support asset sales. What's the common thread there, Mr Speaker? Well, it's in one word, and it's called treachery. Treachery, Mr Speaker. And I went to Wikipedia, that we all do today, of course, for the font of all wisdom, to say, what is the definition of treason? Citizens' actions to seriously injure the nation. Mr Speaker, I put it to you that it is exactly what this national government is carrying out, ignoring the views of New Zealanders. Mr Speaker, treachery that is seriously undermining our ability to move forward as a country. Mr Speaker, this government is failing in many areas. Today we heard about education, Mr Speaker. The balance of payments deficit. Oh, terms of trade are good. Balance of payments deficit, disastrous. Well, I'll look at a couple of areas of the economy and primary industries in particular, Mr Speaker. Let's look at forestry. Record export earnings in forestry. Well, so we're told. There's certainly record log exports, Mr Speaker. So what we've seen is a record to $4.3 billion, I think about the fourth biggest export from this country. The majority of it now going out in logs, Mr Speaker. $120 for a tonne of logs, $400 for a tonne of timber. Mr Speaker, we are exporting, not we, the national government is exporting from this country jobs every single day from the forestry industry. And do you know what we're left with? We're left with an industry under huge commercial pressure, financial pressure, to the point where they are killing people in the forests on a regular basis because of the financial pressure put on contracting firms to rip down those logs and get rid of them as quickly as possible. That is failure of the national government and the forestry industry. Let's look at meat, Mr Speaker. The once proud meat industry. This is the party that champions the rights of farmers. What's happening in the meat industry? Farmers are leaving to go dairying. And even in the area of dairying, we are seeing unhidden environmental and financial costs. Let's go back to meat, Mr Speaker. The wonderful progress, because the national government has committed $500,000 to a red meat strategy and then committed $350 million of taxpayer and farmer money through PGP to grow the red meat industry. And do you know what the latest innovation? It's to take the carcasses, to cut them into 6 pieces and to send them to China for further value-added processing. Mr Speaker, this National Party, national government is a disgrace to the agricultural sector. The farmers and the meat workers, Mr Speaker, who have worked hard to build value in the meat industry have seen it destroyed in one single year, Mr Speaker. Look at manufacturing. They've failed in manufacturing, Mr Speaker. At best, it has been flat exports of manufactured products, mainly off the back of primary sector, Mr Speaker, because of the dairy industry. Take away the dairy sector influence, and in every measure of our economy, this national government has failed. It is indeed carrying out treacherous acts of selling our assets and failing to build up any additional value in this economy. This government is a disgrace and it's a failure, and it's about time it moved on.
Mr. Speaker.
I call Chris Ockenwald.
Thank you.